watching the riots, watching the news, watching the election. I was able to cut through a lot of that news, and I didn't like it. I said, in today's times, we can do it better. Mark Naughton, I'm just a citizen. People want to be heard, not told. They want to be heard.
I'm a Second Amendment advocate, and I think we have the right, and it's a constitutional right to keep and bear arms, and they're not really assault weapons. They're not fully automatic, so I'm not sure why that term gets used all the time. And high-capacity magazines, doesn't matter. I can switch a magazine out if it's a 10-round magazine, probably just as quick as somebody could do a 30.
Yeah, and I do wonder, what is quote-unquote high? Do you know what high capacity in the percentages, or how many rounds?
I don't know. I'm not going to speak on that.
Well, there's so much impulsive violence in our society, and so many unforgiving spirits in the world, that I think we have to learn a kind of deeper empathy that in the long run is going to permit people to pardon one another and find a common way of seeing things.
We're from Jersey, and like I said, I had to get rid of all my 30-round magazines for my ARs, and we're down to 10 rounds.
People are calling for banning the AR. It's trending right now. What are your thoughts?
Again, it's a rifle. I can do as much damage with an AR as I can with a hunting rifle.
Yeah. Enjoying the weather, right?
Yes, sir.
Good. Do you race?
No, we don't race now.
Man, it looks like you could.
Yeah, we could.
We're on Truth with Mark Naughton, and I'm here with
Rafiq
and Ryan.
Okay, guys, listen. Horrible, tragic events yesterday in Boulder, Colorado. What are your thoughts?
Got to change the gun laws. Okay. Not give everybody guns.
Yeah, I agree.
So, does it matter at all that the Second Amendment is a right of the people?
Yeah, of course. But I think, how can I say this? Mental illness is real, so they can't just give it to anybody. Everybody should be able to exercise their amendment, but I think there should be a little bit stricter steps, I guess, towards giving out gun licenses. And
but any other rights? First Amendment. There's mental ill people saying a lot of crazy things, firing up a lot of people, causing riots.
Right.
Should we restrict the first two?
I don't think so. I don't really know what's the First Amendment, honestly.
It's the right of free press. It's the right of free speech, free religion, right, expression, yourself, art. But basically, it's free speech.
Okay. I don't think you restrict anything. I just think nowadays in the U.S., there's just a lot of crazy things going on, man, that need to be changed on every aspect. You dig what I'm saying?
So the president, he just said maybe an hour ago, he's urging the Senate to ban assault weapons. Your thoughts?
No, I don't think that's necessarily it. I think it should be some restrictions put in place to stop just anybody that have the ability to buy and purchase guns.
Go.
We're on Truth with Mark Naughton, and I'm here with
KBM and Sean Francis.
Okay, gentlemen. So horrible events yesterday in Boulder, Colorado. What are your thoughts?
What happened?
Okay, there was an active shooter. He went into a grocery store. He shot 9 civilians and 1 police officer to death. What are your thoughts?
He shot 9 civilians and a police officer to death. That's a horrific incident.
We are living in a time, zoom in on my face. We are living in a time that we don't know the time. There's COVID. The world is in tension, high anxiety. I need a Percocet. No. It's just that we're living in a different time and people are agitated more than they've ever been. And that's just what's happening as a result of that. I'm sorry for what happened. My heart goes out to the families. But we have to change as a people, or we have to change the way the world is running and just update.
So you talk about updates. The president just a few minutes ago, maybe an hour ago, he said he's urging the Senate to ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazines.
Oh,
is that the update you're talking about?
No, not at all.
Where this goes?
That's what I'm asking. You guys can take it. You can.
We still need to protect ourselves.
We definitely need to protect ourselves. But
listen,
when it's abused, when given anything, you have to do it within moderation, because when we do it, we abuse it, don't we?
Do you think it's government's job to put the limits, or do you think it's individual freedom and we have to regulate ourselves?
It's whoever put the guns here. If it was the government, yes, they are responsible. If it was me, I'm responsible. If it was you, you're responsible. Right. Someone has to be responsible.
I believe there should be more health checks before people are issued their firearms, not just licenses to carry, but actually are permitted to have a firearm in their possession. I believe there should be more health screens.
So it sounds like you guys are talking a little bit more about the people side of it, a little bit less about the mechanics of it being...
Yeah, I mean, we all have the right to bear arms, and we should hold that right, but there should be proper screening before adults
that should
have
definitely
the right
be.
To possess one.
This is when we can use the profiling. This is where profiling can be used.
But
with
screening,
that.
health screening, more so health.
It might be a big opening industry then if we got to screen everybody.
Health screening is very, very specific. It doesn't have to be too dynamic on the screening. It's more so on mental stability. You know, we have to know that it's safe for the people that are carrying these weapons to carry these weapons, including police officers.
He's doing good.
Including police officers, especially law enforcement.
You know, it's funny. So to be a police officer, they go through extensive mental screening. I don't know about once they're on the job, but I know to get the job, you know, it's usually an 8 to 10 hour process. 4,000 questions.
That's not enough hours.
Not enough hours.
Nurses need more hours than that.
No. Just to assess their mental.
No, but nurses need more hours than that.
Do they?
To be around children and to administer health to you. And
that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Just to have bedside manners properly and be legally able to do it. So if that's the case, you know, I think we should have better screening on police officers. It should be a little longer.
Okay, guys. Hey, any final thoughts?
I'm pro bear arms. And I'm really sorry for all the lives that were lost in that horrific incident. It's really insane, and we do need better mental health screening on firearms.
Okay, Bernie, so horrible situation yesterday in Boulder, Colorado. Did you see it?
I did. It just one after the other. It's just a disgrace that we have to hear that week after week, month after month. Innocent lives being lost. And there's no answer to it. There really is no answer so long as you have the Second Amendment and there are no restrictions whatsoever on who gets guns and what kind of guns they can get. It's just very sad.
I completely agree with you. It's extremely sad. Would I surprise you if I told you that there are significant restrictions?
Well, you would surprise me. I know that, one, there are no restrictions on assault rifles that do most of the damage. I think this last massacre was one where the who I don't know his name. I don't know if that's been released, but he had an assault rifle, and people can get guns on the street. Unfortunately, you know, this city is another problem. One answer, and unfortunately it was declared unconstitutional, is stop and frisk. I think that's the only real way that you can stop young people from having those kinds of weapons. And it seems to me that it can be done in a way that passes constitutional muster. I know the problems in the past. I know what the decisions have been, but I can't think of another way in this city to make it safer and for the young people who are being killed by each other.
What do you say to the proponents of the Second Amendment that say, hey, listen, you can carry a weapon, you can be responsible for your safety and the safety of the people around you? What are your thoughts?
Well, again, I first of all, I think that the Second Amendment is a mistake because it does limit the restrictions that are reasonable that might be imposed. And with the Supreme Court constituted the way that it is, there is no reasonable hope that we're going to get a change there. And whatever restrictions you say are reasonable certainly are not affecting the murder rate in this city, are they?
I think you bring up a great point because so domestic offenders, they can't have a weapon. People with mental illness, they can't have a weapon. People who are not U.S. citizens can't have a weapon. So there's a ton of restrictions against who can have a weapon, and yet the crime still happens.
Because, again, you can get guns on the street bypassing these restrictions. If you have the money, you can get a gun. And if people have those guns who shouldn't have guns, then if they're carrying them, and I'm sure they are, because whenever you see one of these incidents in the city, there's no thought, well, I'm going to commit murder today, but these young people have guns on them.
Well, I think you bring up a really good distinction. The young people carrying versus, let's say in Colorado, that gentleman, it's looking like he did wake up that morning with a plan. At least that's what it's looking like. It wasn't a crime of passion where he brought an AR into a grocery store. That one might have been a thought out one.
Yes, certainly. They're different. They're different problems. The problems of domestic violence in the city with young people being the victims and the shooters, that's different from the mass shootings that we've endured over the last, 10, 20 years. They're different.
How about where you at with citizens lawfully carrying? You behind that, or you just think no one should?
Well, I really don't believe that it's necessary for law-abiding people to have guns. If no one had guns like in other countries, then it wouldn't be necessary, because it's very hard to know who's going to do what with the guns, I would err on the side of no guns.
Yeah, that in theory. Now, it just reminds me of Timothy McVeigh. Bombs are illegal. He didn't go to the bomb store. He made a bomb and he killed a lot of people. What are your thoughts?
Well, they're all ways of killing people, and the Timothy McVeighs are the lone wolves. People are hard for the authorities to anticipate, to take action against. By definition, the fellow who blew up part of Nashville,
back in December,
right? Of course, you look back, and the authorities were somewhat neglecting that. There were complaints that this guy is making a bomb, and they failed really to follow up as well as they could. But again, the mass violence and killings in this country are just something that is unendurable. We have to keep thinking about ways to monitor actions. Now that's going to run into other problems with respect to what the authorities can monitor as far as communications, the internet and all that. Of course, the internet, social media, is a huge problem in terms of what you see in the city with flash mobs and young people getting together and doing some terrible things. In my opinion, social media is the devil's work, and some of the advantages are perhaps outweighed by the disadvantages.
Hey, thanks for your time.
My pleasure.
Janaea, horrible events yesterday in Boulder, Colorado. Do you know what I'm talking about?
The shooting?
Yes.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
It needs to stop. It's like every time you turn around, it's another mass shooting. They need to do something with these gun laws.
Well, what do you suggest we do with these gun laws?
They need to make it harder for people to gain access to guns, especially automatic rifles and assault rifles, so people won't just go out and just be shooting people, and need to focus on mental health, because people need the therapy. they need something.
So we've interviewed a lot of people today, and you're just echoing pretty much what everyone said today. And what I'm hearing is, people do talk about assault weapons, but everyone follows it up with talking about mental health.
Yeah, I think people need help. You have these thoughts, and for somebody to act on it, it's something going on.
Yeah, so it doesn't sound like you're anti-Second Amendment. It sounds like you want to address the people element.
Yes.
Okay. Any final thoughts?
No, that's it.
Hey, thanks for your time.
You're welcome.
And I think that everyone needs to just drink a big pitcher of margarita and watch the sunset in Santa Monica.
And legalize marijuana. KBM Live.
Hey, guys, thanks a lot. And as usual, you know the deal. Like, share, and subscribe.
Guys, keep up the good work. I love you.